Hello there, this is Through Spades, and welcome to Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I've had to re-record this Let's Play simply because the audio of the last playthrough I did of this was totally busted, so I needed to completely redo this entire thing because I had fucked up and played this game all in one go a bit too late at night and did not do bare minimum checking to ensure that the audio quality for this was going to work. As well as that, I found out the next day when I attempted to finish the campaign that my save file had been totally wiped because that's a wonderfully working video game. And since I actually wanted to own this game for my Windows 7 computer, and Steam told me to go fuck myself, well, I've made it pretty apparent how I feel about Steam, so Steam can go fuck itself right back. I paid for this fucking game, so if they're gonna alter the deal after the terms of, after the years after the date of sale, I'm gonna alter my participation in online DRM punishments and just simply opt for Dottie repacks instead. So here's one thing I noticed. There's a radio guy.
In exchange for the minister's release. This administration, along with our allies throughout the WA, steadfastly refuse to submit to blackmail. We will continue to explore avenues of diplomatic negotiations.
So this radio is outside news.
Pushing for control of the region's dwindling resources. With the capture of Minister Saeed, a well-known and well-respected member of the Winslow Accord CENTCOM, fears are now growing that the situation will once again lead to an escalation in hostilities. The WA have denied sending troops to the region, stating that they are still seeking a diplomatic solution to the standoff.
They've denied sending troops to the region, so that's why they're sending me, a soldier, a troop, and other troops to the region. So, what you're going to notice is this consistent theme of just about with Black Ops. You're going to notice that every single trend that is out nowadays, it's going to kind of unravel the delusions behind a lot of it. Black Ops 3 is a game that was warning about AI, Windows 11, corporate overreach, and the current day dystopian hellscape we live in about 11 years ago, before it really got out of hand. So many people say that, they're looking for the impossible Easter egg in this game. Well, I don't really know what's more impossible to have known than a desperate warning about AI art ruining the world and the people living in it as, 5 years ahead of time. This game is a game that goes from Windows 7 to Windows 11 in the same span. It's kind of insane, but what you're going to see is throughout this, I'm going to show some things that I don't think anybody and their dog has ever mentioned. First of all, the whole game is a simulation. The first game, first mission as well, also simulation. It's a lot more subtle, but the text crawl at the beginning where Taylor has summarized the mission kind of shows that, and these brain scans as well. MRIs. Why are there all of these brain scans? And you'll notice this sort of spinning circle with the eye, and it'll constantly show up. There's all this Freemasonry and other shit in this game too. Lots of Illuminati. Brain scans, MRIs, medical signatures, because your character was on a medical table and dies during surgery. Your character doesn't live. So, I wonder why there's all of these, images of brain scans, your organs, your eyes, your heart, and your brain. These are the three things that they want you to pay attention to, and they want you to use as well. Your eyes, your heart, and your brain. Now, these are pretty important when trying to figure out the story and what the fuck it means. But do you see how there's all of this medical equipment everywhere? Why do you need this on a gunship? Isn't this like an army ship? Why are why would they be dropping in all of this shit out in the public? These are your personal brain scans. And any one of these guys who happens to be the Treyarch CEO could easily fucking see this shit. Eyes. Spying. The dangers of spyware too. Combat immersion. Also, thing about that is it's 100% some cut survival mode that they just chopped down and turned into something a lot more simplistic just so they could get it out. Now my evidence behind that is more so circumstantial, simply because, well, if Advanced Warfare had one, wouldn't it make sense for them to want to do that as well? Plus, I mean, it also just makes sense from a development standpoint if you set up the expectation of, well, you're going to have exo-survival in these games from here on out. Well, you would actually want to be improving upon that, but since there was never like an exo-survival mode, well, what became of the limited mode they had done some development on was put into combat immersion. Why would you waste precious dev time on a little mini game that's in the safe house unless it's just reusing cut content, which this game is absolutely doing all the fucking time? Exactly. Now, speaking from, I don't know, roughly 7, 8, or 9 years of video game experience, I can tell you Call of Duty has to be one of the single most sloppy developers you can possibly fucking think of, but they consistently put out games that are simple and they fucking work. Which is kind of what gave them the pass throughout all these years up until about Black Ops 7. Black Ops 7 is the kind of game that Black Ops 3 would actively warn about and laugh at and tell you and show you in intricate detail why it's a horrible thing that you should never attempt to do or to play or to give into. The way that it kind of deconstructs AI and the delusions behind most big-name AAA companies is quite excellent, and I think it is very, very appropriate given the circumstances of a lot of things that have happened across the world, especially in the years that people have just blindly accepted something and signed away a lot of rights that they had to something that never really ever had their best interests at heart. So, one more thing before I start. I'm going to turn myself to Mr. Clean. There we go. I'm going to have to do all this elaborate setup if I turn off the game, so I'm just going to make sure I get it right here. It's time to go rescue Minister Saeed. Now, since this is using someone else's save game, thanks to me having to go grab this from the old repack site, this game I already fucking bought, and that got broken by a Steam update. Yeah. Kinda sucks. But better it than nothing.
This disaster has overwhelmed the authorities. Superstorms continue to hammer the region, hampering relief efforts.
Climate migration.
These are
They're showing all these fucked up places thanks to Cordes Dia.
Our future depends upon the choices we make.
Mega cities.
As populations continue to expand, megacities emerge worldwide. The extreme conditions have led to a vast
climate migration there. Bam.
WA bases were on high alert this morning.
Yeah.
Direct energy air defenses neutralized neutralize the attack.
Thanks, Ramonendes. And all of this was from a canceled Black Ops 3 that was open world.
Yet more bloodshed.
Make no mistake, this is a new Cold War. We may not always see our enemies, but they are out there.
Yep.
My name is Jacob Hendricks. I'm your new CO. This is Egyptian Minister Said, taken hostage by NRC forces 2 days ago.
There you are, see.
After the uprisings in Cairo, they may want to make an example of him.
Punish him.
Punish him. We're not going to let that happen. Just so we're clear, if this goes wrong, you never existed.
So I'm going to show you one thing off the bat. Now this whole spiel with the lines and the text here,
The NRC are going to be here soon.
everybody's figured out what that means.
To create the mother of all
But I'm going to show you the one thing. Millions of people who've played this game have seen it, and they literally, not a single one has ever mentioned it, to my knowledge. I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. Literally.
Copy that.
I'm going to wait for this cutscene to get over here.
Cargo 4019er, we have a fuel fire on runway 19. Divert course for landing to runway 11. Please confirm.
Hey, why is it so long?
All right, you're up.
The soldier over there is also Dan Bunting.
Recalibrating dead system target.
Dan Bunting does appear
Yeah,
quite a bit throughout this. Unfortunately,
Please select target.
yeah, there were a few
Input confirmed. Targeting parameters accepted.
people at Treyarch no longer working on this game thanks to the Cosby suite.
All is good down here. Possible malfunction at your end? Fire.
If you don't know,
Dead system engaging target.
well,
Firing.
a lot of these employees tended to have a habit of
Shit! Get
some
out!
with some rather dirty business. Same kind of stuff that would
Let's
be
get this
on
done.
islands as well, but right there. You see that? To your right. Shoot these guys real quick.
Taylor, diversion is in play. Bird is down.
Confirmed. Sentries are leaving their post to respond to
So
the
that
crash.
right there.
Proceed to the
Brain
package.
go
Make the grab
boom.
before it breaks.
So
It's broken.
millions of people have had the camera of that cutscene directly fucking stall on that screen.
We're on it.
Right there.
See you at the RP.
In the first fucking mission of the game. They're telling you that this mission wasn't even real. This is the one thing that throughout this whole game people have said, okay, well the first mission is real, but the rest are fake, right? Every one of them was fake. Every single one. But they were based on real events, and this whole game takes place from roughly 3 perspectives. You as the player, who dies in the second mission. Taylor, who has this falling out with Hendricks thanks to his sort of back and forth and the debate between whether he and Hendricks should go to the Coalescence HQ and kill Corvus. That's the third character. Throughout the whole game, you swap from Corvus, the player, and Taylor. Now in this first mission, you are the player. Everything here is a recollection of events as seen roughly by your player, Taylor, and then as the campaign goes on, when you get to Rise and Fall, that's when you're taken over by Corvus. After Demon Within, Demon Within is when shit gets really screwy. It's when you go back to World War II, but Rise and Fall is the oil rig. Every mission after that until Life is Corvus. And there are a couple of like endings that got cut from what I could see, or at least what I could, kind of circumstantially put together, but you'll see what those are when I get further into the game. So
Roger that.
here we go. This will be multiple parts, so enough talking. Alright, Dan Bunton, I'm gonna leave you
While they're
behind.
busy dealing with the crash, these uniforms should allow us to slip by unnoticed.
So long as we don't have to talk to anyone.
Gonna be earpiece.
Keep your mouth shut.
And they tell me twice, I'll shut up now.
Security stations across the way in the tunnels. Once there, we'll be able to pinpoint the minister's exact location. Heads and weapons down. Keep it cool till we make the grab.
I'll follow your lead.
Just keep your head down.
You're fired. With some really good environmental and just world building and storytelling throughout. Every single time you do something bad, you are forced to walk through the consequences of what happened, like Spec Ops: The Line. It's that thing with the white phosphorus, but like every single mission does that without fail. They don't show this shit as being empowering, they show it as being horrifying. Or at least they try to. Not that people fell for it anyway. Now, people wanted to be empowered in Call of Duty. Instead, they got horror. Or, you know, action horror anyway. They got super soldiers who are robbed of their humanity. But immediately, I think what stands out about this section and
Taylor,
other
we're at the
sections
security
like
station.
it is
Moving to secure.
just how much shit's happening.
I hear you, Hendricks.
This shit ran on Xbox One. 2 gigabytes
Let's do
of
this.
VRAM too.
Ready when you are.
Pretty wild, huh? Nowadays, you'd need like 16 gigabytes of VRAM.
I'll kill the alarms
You'd
on this
barely
floor.
get
Get plugged in and locate the minister.
720p at fucking 24 frames a second.
Taylor, scanning for package.
Another thing about this is there's just a lot of implied
Waiting for hit on facial
history
recognition.
throughout. There's blood and a bunch of papers and dirt and scratches. Nowadays, you just get none of the scratches or the
Other
dirt on
hostages.
anything.
I thought it was
It all
only
just
the
looks
minister.
fucking sterile.
So did I.
And these guys all have unique animations that never play again. Like, every one of them has unique torture animations. This guy's got blood on the wall. This dude's been fucked up.
Poor sons of bitches. The NRC are known for their brutality.
And the animations do loop eventually, so like if you watch this guy getting beat to a pulp with a fucking pipe or some shit, it'll go on for a while, but yeah, it'll just loop. Same thing with this guy getting waterboarded.
Taylor, did you know there were other prisoners?
The minister is the only priority.
He knew. In
Understood.
other words.
Check the next feed.
Are we just gonna leave him to be tortured?
We have our orders. No match. That's him, the minister.
That's him, the minister. So we're gonna go in and save Princess Leia here.
He's being moved. We have to find out where they're taking him.
And they actually don't move him until you press the space on the camera there, but just over here we're gonna go to fucking cell
Bingo.
block
Match confirmed. Moving to secure.
and
ETA?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. I'll be
go
timing
save
you.
him from the detention center and the
Son of a bitch is
stormtroopers.
never funny.
You sound like the voice of experience.
Trust me. I am.
They're immediately setting up this tension between Taylor and Hendricks that you're then going to play for the rest of the game. Now, they fuck up the timeline, and they sort of warn about the dangers of AI, where Corvus can't get its narrative straight, so the timeline gets fucked up. The reason why it's very deliberately fucked up is because that's how AI works in real life now, ain't it? See, when lacking a human input, it creates bullshit. It creates straight up fucking bullshit. So, Black Ops 3 warning about Windows 11 and AI in 2015, yeah, now it makes sense. We didn't have the capacity to understand this story for 5 fucking years, and by the time we did, most people still wrote it off as some nonsensical, confusing plot that was made only to be nonsensical and confusing. Perception is reality. If you think Black Ops 3 is a vampire, that's all anyone ever is gonna amount it to. Unfortunately. So anyway, It's gaming time. Get wrecked. Bye-bye. This would have been a lot easier had I, you know, had a 100% save file, but, yeah, at least I got level 9. So that way I don't have to regrind for the dingo. This breaks the timeline a little bit, but if this game's gonna break its own fucking timeline, so am I. Fuck it. It's another thing I saw with, especially the Axeman review of this game, where he quite deliberately just decided not to use most of the powers and he fucking wrote off the game. That is one of the most viewed videos of this game, and I think it has done irreparable damage to the overall, you know, reputation of Black Ops 3, coupled with just people not being ready for what was right in front of them. As far back as 2013 with the NSA and Edward Snowden, which they show off in the trailers.
On me.
You don't want to believe that what you're buying is bad because you spent a bunch of money on it. But, you know, that's how they get you.
I'll take point. You breach observation.
They know that people are gullible. But constantly, they will put this shit right in front of you. Brain,
Interrogator has his back to the door.
eyes,
Two
X-ray
sentries
of
inside.
the
The guard's
body.
down.
They're straight up, you know, in order to do this, and you don't actually have to do anything. Fun fact, Hendricks will kill them. He will literally just shoot them off.
We're here to extract you. Do as I say, and you'll make it through this.
What about Lieutenant Khalil and the others?
Sorry, no time.
You notice
Khalil
how,
was a hero of the Cairo uprising.
if you're not
you know
using
that
your
makes him a
eyes,
valuable asset
you'll
for their
just shoot this
propaganda.
shit that's
They
right in
will
front of
make
you.
An example of him.
Fuck! All right, let's go.
all of this, right? Important information. They're expecting that most players
This one.
Get
would
the door.
not just
I'll cover.
stop and look at this shit. But this is a thing that pops up consistently. You're seeing the same shit that's happened to you being done to others. Now, Minister Saeed doesn't show up for the rest of the game, and that's because this is in the future, right? You play this event that happens after a majority of the campaign. You then go back in time,
out of here.
and then you see what has happened, and then if you're able to piece together the timeline more accurately than Corvus, then you kind of understand how push came to shove, and how this is like the second to last mission. Most people have figured that out. I think DX also was able to figure out a lot of the literary analysis and a lot of the sort of connections to Alice in Wonderland, The Matrix, and a few other things, but like the literary analysis and the other elements like that were mostly done to sort of connect you to a lot of the storytelling that they were using throughout this game and why it matters compared to just telling the story as it was. Because if they had just told the story as it was, well, they wouldn't have been able to warn you about the future. And Metal Gear Solid 5 and Silent Hill PT did do a lot of similar things. So naturally, when they're bound by NDAs and a lot of hush-hush, mafia-like intimidation tactics, well, brain is going to go boom if you talk bad about Activision.
They're gonna be on to us soon. Hustle.
They're going to make you disappear. You don't want that. So I'm going to open the door here. And once
I'll cut
again,
the poor bastard down.
you're going to notice this recurring theme of medical equipment fucking everywhere. Here's more vitals. If you didn't get it the first time, here it is.
Hendricks, can you fight Khalil?
Body
Always.
cut in half.
We'll grab a weapon from the locker room up ahead and reprogram it to match your biometrics.
And the brain of this guy's head. Oh yeah, also. Prisoner security compromised.
Sounds like they're finally on to us.
Find the
Let's move.
infiltrators. But you
Taylor,
notice,
package +1
bloodstain.
secure and inbound.
+1. Your orders were to extract the minister.
His name is Lieutenant Khalil. Sound familiar?
Get moving. We'll see you topside.
Depot ahead will be heavily guarded.
Bloodstain.
Get ready to go
Right.
loud.
Through the legs and the arm, which is what you got hit on, right? That's what got ripped off. Both of these, and then that hand. So, your character looks more like that by the, end of this mission. But as well as that, you can see, you know, all these little torture devices and other things, med bags, but also since this is just a reused asset from Singapore, which before it was Singapore originally was China, which is why a lot of the architecture and a lot of the stuff in there more closely resembles China. Tencent stepped in, they didn't like that, so they changed it to Singapore last minute. How last minute? Like a year and a half out. Pretty bad, yeah. And a lot of the shit, they even had straight up street views of that. I'm not gonna show fucking pictures of this shit, but it's not entirely hard to find on Imgur. You played as the CIA originally, and the story just was basically what you would think it is. It's how Black Ops 2 evolves from
Cargo elevator up ahead.
soldiers fighting wars into robots eventually replacing most foot soldiers and most nations around the world using automated armies. Can't believe I finally got that after like fucking 10 years, but there you go. Oh, so you can spawn trap the shit out of them with the fucking dingo.
Get in the elevator. It'll take us up to the hangar. Clear out the NRC so we can get
If
topside.
not the dingo, then use the thermite. You're fired.
Get to the elevator.
Oh yeah, you can absolutely burn the shit out of them. But just another nice detail I love about this is when you fucking shoot the bodies, blood abso-fucking-lutely goes everywhere. This was a big marketing point
Keep moving.
that they
We're almost
wanted
outta
to
here.
sell people on with this game, because a couple of the other games had really started been, you know, toning down the blood, but even though it's not some crazy gore system, when they get ragdolled on the ground, like it usually is if you blow them up with like a bazooka or something, here comes Kool-Aid. So, yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, I've seen more elaborate gore systems. Fucking system. I've seen more elaborate gore systems from Dead Island 2, but it's certainly welcome compared to most games that just absolutely pussy out on this kind of shit and call it racist. The offensiveness is what gives these games life, because of the ties to real-world history.
Drop your weapons! Lower them now!
We're dead if we do.
Not portraying this shit accurately
Trust me.
is disrespectful
We're
to
dead if we
people who've
don't.
been through it.
Drop them! Move forward!
That's just the fucking way it is. Every time they censor some shit like that, they're protecting bad guys.
You're late.
Your imaginary watch is fast.
Nice to see you, Jacob.
You too, John. You look
You look
different.
different.
You still seeing Rachel?
You look different. Perhaps you look
That
like
didn't
the
work
player at one point.
That's a pity.
New blood? Gonna take care of him as good as you did me?
That's not funny, man. We still set on our exfil?
Charges are set.
All right, good to go. Exfil in 10. Diaz, you're on babysitting duty. Let's roll.
Stay close.
If you tend to judge this game by old Call of Duty logic, you'll be completely lost. Just judge it based upon what they're saying and doing. You'll have a much better time. So, a thing about the characters with Diaz, Hall, Moretti, and Taylor, and every character just in general throughout this, they all die in an ironic way. Diaz is the drone expert. He says that, you know, he knows better than to hook up to a hive mind and overload his brain. How does he die? He hooks up to a hive mind and overloads his brain. Moretti is the weapons expert. He tells you and shows you all about these experimental crazy weapons. How does he die? You kick him into a pole. Not even a fight, hardly. You literally just kick him. A simple kick kills him in one fucking shot. How does Hall die? Hall is this person who's really obsessed with heroism and being in the past. Well, ironically enough, she dies in a haunted, destroyed, corrupted World War II, reminded of how she's not a hero and none of this is a simulation, and she kills herself like a coward, and she dies. Every character dies in some ironic way. Taylor is this stoic and rather calm and reserved character throughout this whole experience who's trying to sort of guide everything together through the chaos. How does he die? Panicked, afraid, angry, wrestling head on with death. And the ending of the game, he body swaps with the player in order to resurrect them from the dead. And that's sort of something that is maybe more familiar to Cyberpunk fans than to Call of Duty ones, but zombies, if you take into account the zombies stuff as well, actually that's not too far off, simply because, well, the zombies lore is fucking crazy, so if the campaign lore is going to be fucking crazy too, well, that makes sense. Just depends on your mindset for this kind of thing, but mine is not so much looking at this as a Black Ops 1 and 2 thing, but mostly where it said it was, looking at the future. And the future eventually became restrictive, lockdown, fucked up technology. Like Windows 11, like Xbox Series X, like the Frozen Forest with AI. Yeah, this game's going to get into all that. It'll be real fun to dissect. I'll tell you all about it in the next part after I play some more of this mission. Take care.